Good afternoon, everybody. Hello to Kevin and Dirk, who are in the chat. We're back for Route 66, and we are currently in Seligman, in Arizona, and we're going to be carrying on the old Route 66. This is an interesting part, as the interstate we've been following for the past while is going to head in a kind of southwest, northwest arc over to Kingman. The old Route 66, which we are going to follow, goes northwest and then southwest down to Kingman. So we're going to actually be splitting off the interstate and following the actual Route 66 for this leg. So should be good. Weather is much better than it was last time we were here. So let's hop on board and we can get the aircraft set up and ready to go. Alright, so here we are. We'll get the power on first thing. Get rid of the wheel here. I'm going to come on with the beacon lights, nav lights. We'll get the fuel pump on, mixture fully rich, crack the throttle. We'll get a little bit of fuel flow to prime the engine. Fuel pump off, throttle to 1/4. Mags to both, and we can start the engine. There we go. Engine's up. We'll get the rest of the avionics online and continue setting up. First, we're using the advanced G1000, which makes it look nice. What we're going to do is we're going to put the direct line in just as a reference. So we're here at P23 at the moment. So we'll go to our flight plan. It is P23 for our airport here. Small, let's go this way. Airport, which is why it doesn't have the regular numbering system we would see in the States, but that's fine. There's P23 Seligman. We'll enter that in. We're going to take off on, winds are kind of like nothing really. So we're going to take off runway 22 because we're going to do a left-hand turn and fly over the town before we head out. There we go, and we're heading down to KIGM, I believe it is. Yeah, KIGM. For Kingman. There she is. And there we go. And you can see our distance is about 50 miles straight line. We're going to be going a little bit more around than that. We'll bring the engine RPMs up to about 1,000 RPM, get that thing warming up. Current weather I'll put into the chat. There's no reporting here at Seligman, but there's the Kingman METAR. A little bit windier there, 140, 9 gusting 14, so we're going to land. Let's see what the runways are there. So we're going to land on runway 17, 6,700 feet. Should not be an issue there. I think this is the last leg that'll take us solely in Arizona. I think from here we cross over into California on the next one. But everything seems to be up and going. I think I can hear Kevin's engines are up and going. So we're going to head off this way to the right, taxi down to the end of the runway. Alright, so we'll get our taxi light is on. We're going to taxi out, then hold, and we got to set the engine up for takeoff at this elevation. Let's make sure that you don't. Alright, so we're going to taxi out now. We'll avoid the little push cart. You hear that wind blowing a little bit. We should be okay to take off in this direction. We might get buffeted a bit by a crosswind. Easier to handle on takeoff than it is on landing. Alright, so we'll go 1 notch of flaps as we taxi out. Just have to adjust for the wind. When I was up in Yellowknife, I saw one of the Buffalo Airways DC-3. Actually, I saw 2 of the Buffalo Airways DC-3s taken off out of Yellowknife. Didn't see their DC-6 or their new 737. But it was pretty neat to see the old birds up and flying. Saw a lot of old airplanes up there. Beavers and otters, twin otters, turbo beavers. Oh, load of twin otters were up there. Even went for a ride in a beaver on floats. Did a little flight seeing, as it were, of the Yellowknife area and to the north. Up following the famous Yellowknife River. Alright, we'll start to slow down here. It's gonna face the runway direction here. Ideally we'd face into the wind to do this, but that's fine. We'll just come up to the hold line and do it. I'm not gonna run the mags up to check the engine. I'm just gonna run it up so that I can lean it out for max power. Alright. So we'll stop here at the line. Brakes are on. We'll hop back inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the engine up to 1800 RPM. And once we're at 1800 RPM-ish, we'll let it stabilize. And then we're going to lean the engine until we see an RPM drop. So there's 1800 RPM. I'm going to start pulling the mixture. See, you can hear the engine spooling up. There's 1870, 1880, 1890, 1900, 10, 20. So there's our drop. So let's see if we can get it back to 1920. There you go. 120 RPM, 130 RPM extra on the engine just by leaning it out. Power back down to 1000. And we will be good to go. So we're current airport elevation here, and we'll set the altimeter. It's 5220. The elevation out at Kingman is 34.8. So we're going to go up to 7,000 feet for today's sightseeing, and then we'll see if we have to adjust on the way. I think we should be ready to go. Kevin should be sitting behind us. There he is. So taxi light off, landing lights are on, strobe lights are on, pitot heat is on, flaps are set, brakes released. Move out into position now. ourselves around on the line. Alright. So just going to set my heading bug straight ahead. And again, we're going to do a left turn and take a look at the town from the air. Alright, here we go. Brakes released, going to full power. Full power set. You can see we're only getting about 2,300 RPM. That's because we're already almost 5,200 feet. A bit of crosswind. We're working the rudder. Airspeed's live. It's 55 knots. We'll give it to 60. Ease back. A little wheel chirp, and we're up. We want to try to get it up to about 75 knots, which is our best climb rate. So autopilot's on, heading's on. Vertical speed, we're going to go up at 500 feet per minute. There's the interstate, I-40. Flaps coming up. I'm going to turn east now. Left turn to the east. We're going to fly over the town before we start following Route 66. There's Kevin. Go to a 045 now. And there's a little lake, and there's the town of Seligman, or Seligman. Alright, there's the old Route 66. Just runs south of the airport and it heads off this way around that ridge, so that's where we're headed. And one of the last remaining extended portions of the old route. Remember, we came in along here when we flew in last time. That was 2 weeks ago. The train tracks and then the old route. We fly over the town. Slowly working our way up to 7,000 feet. And there's where we're headed. We'll get on the south side of the plane where the sun's shining. So right down here is the famous Roadkill Saloon. Stopping place back when people were driving the old route. And there's the airport and Kevin coming in behind. Alright, so we're coming up to 6,700 feet. I'm going to bring the power back to about 2450. And we'll just leave the power there for the trip. you see the split. I-40 goes that way. Route 66 goes that way. And she kind of meets up again at Kingman, which is where we're going to be, where we're headed. Oh, saw Kevin's shadow fly over us. Going to be following the old route here out through the deserts of western Arizona. Not much out here. There's a couple little towns we're going to be passing. It's a lot more, I think, about seeing the desert out here. Still can't see me, eh? Oh well. Are you seeing the tag at least? Or is that not there either? You still think that's that livery issue? So up this straight stretch that's coming up, there is apparently at least one historic old road sign still here from the ads from the 50s and 60s. Still on it, and they've apparently kept it. So you can see some of the old markings here. Of course, you got the railroad tracks running parallel for a little while. Shadow down there. Ground speed 120 knots. Oh, that's weird. So south of the tracks, I think we can see it coming up here on our left. These dirt roads here is the little community of Audley. A few aircraft in the area. There she is. Might have been. Yeah, I kind of want to keep using it though because I started the trip with it and it's a Canadian marking, so I'm kind of like, there's only 3 legs to go, so we'll finish off with it. We'll see if you remember next time if that's what actually causes it. If you can solve it with the removal of that livery. So there's Route 66 below. The original Route 66. Yeah, not much out here. We're in the desert. So Kingman is known as the heart of Route 66, with frequent classic car events, glowing neon signs, and an overall retro vibe that embraces the city's vibrant past. In the late 1800s, Kingman sprang to life when its railroad laid its tracks. Mining, ranching, and of course the railroad encouraged rapid growth. Route 66 followed suit, rolling into town and bringing with it a new era of travel. Today, Kingman is the perfect launching point for Route 66 road trips, as well as day trips to bucket list caliber attractions in northern Arizona, including the Grand Canyon. But there's plenty to see and do in the town as well. The historic Route 66 Museum and Mojave Museum are all well worth a stop. The surrounding Mojave Desert also provides scenic hiking, biking, and horseback riding nearby. And yes, I just did all that from memory, and I didn't just read it off the webpage. But there you go, we're out in the Mojave Desert. Well known. And very barren. Got those plateaus out there. Oh, these are, I guess they're ranches, but what, the cattle, I guess, out here? I guess those are fence lines for their dirt roads for the cattle farms. Anyway, we can see the route coming up and arcing around. A little bit more traffic ahead of us. That traffic could be out of Las Vegas. We're not too far away from that Arizona, or Nevada, California border area. So the F-18 could be from the, is it Nellis Air Force Base that's out there? Can't remember. Yeah, the Grand Canyon's not too far north of us. It's off in that direction, flying underneath it, south of it. You can see Route 66 is going to start curving back around and south. Down here, the interstate arcs back up, and Kingman is over here somewhere. Nice to be back and flying. Hello, Talia. How's everything at school? Hope it's going well. You should be getting lots of wheel time by now. So down here we have the Grand Canyon Caverns Airport. There's, I guess this is the caverns. Over here, Grand Canyon Caverns. And down here we've got the Grand Canyon Caverns Airport. It's at the long taxiway, and then the runway's offset over there. Oh, written test this week. Next week starting the trucks. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you got a whole bunch of legal and load and stuff like that you got to do. Paperwork side of it. There's another airport. Should be over this way. That's the Haulapai Airport. Should be right in there. Inspections, air brakes. Yeah, all air brakes. Yeah, remember that. Yeah, there's the airport right there. Make another little bit of a turn here, get back on track. Yeah, I had my CZ for a number of years for work. So I remember the air brake stuff well. Although it was great because of the way the buses are, we never had to do the brake inspections before driving them because you can't get at them. So it was always theoretical for us. A little bit of scrub down there, and you can see coming in over the hills. A little bit more terrain down here. So the Haulapai is a tribe of Indians down here. Same, I guess, as the Pueblo and whatever other New Mexico, Arizona, Indian native tribes are down here. Looks like it falls into one of those groupings. That's Peach Springs coming up ahead. Yeah, the only truck I drove would have been almost 40 years ago. It was a Transtar, or International Transtar 2 cab over, 18 split. But that was, didn't have my license. I was just learning how to operate it from a friend. Most of them. Or for work, it was the coach style bus. There's the railroad tracks coming in from the left, and then the road arcs around, and we have the wonderful town of Peach Springs here. Noted for such things as the department store, the police department, the high school, and down here on the way out, this building right here is the Consuming Fire Christian Church. I'm going to say goodbye to Peach Springs. Fruit Springs Rail Yard. Carry on Route 66. We get some very interesting terrain out here. Yep, consuming fire. Located near the fire department. Looks like we got some type of park or reserve or something up here according to the maps. Yeah, that traffic there is definitely up in Vegas. I think on the left here we have the Grand Canyon Resort Corporation. Hey, bombs away. Raiding with a party of 3. Well, hello, bombs away. Thank you for dropping by and thank you for the raid. Hope everything is well. And that you've had a good stream yourself over on Twitch. There's the Resort Corporation down there. Pretty much not much else out here in Arizona. Kevin, you're doing good. You haven't run into me yet. So the road's going to start looping in down here into the hills. And shortly thereafter, we should find ourselves looping around a little bit and then heading in towards the Kingman Airport. So, again, not a long leg today, but it is one of the longer actual sections of the historic Route 66. Oh, you're up in the Shetlands? Yeah, it's nice up there. I just picked up Orbex's Northern Britain, and taken a couple quick looks at some stuff. I've got a tour I'm lining up for Scotland, so hopefully it's going to be good, and having that will give us some extra added graphics, visibility, terrain modification to make it look even better. Thanks for the follow there, Bombs Away. Appreciate it. So everything off to our right seems to be that park area, nature area. I guess there's no name on it. You can see the road heading into the hills here. So the train's going to get a little bit more interesting, but we should be okay for altitude. Yeah, Kevin, you're hanging off my 7 o'clock there, so good spacing. My plan is to fly over Kingsman when we get there. The airport's on the northeast part of the northeast part of the town, so I'm just going to follow the road straight in, probably down over the center of town, and then I'll do a right-hand turn to cross overhead the field west to east to go into a left pattern for runway 17. Hope you got a map and you can follow that. It looks like the winds have died down. We'll stick with 17 just for ease of purpose. So again, we're getting some terrain changes as we come out here. We're getting close to the California border. Not sure exactly where it is. I know it's the other side of Kingman. Yeah, it's not too far, so we're getting out there now into the what do they call it? The Sierra Nevadas, I believe, are those mountain range. See the railroad tracks there as well. It had some great scenery out there, and hey, Bombs Away, thanks, man, appreciate it. Have a great day. Yeah, again, some great scenery on this trip from the Midwest, the plains, the fields, farm fields, all the way through the deserts down here. Now we're heading into these the mountain ranges. Pretty cool. This is going to take us out to a little town called Crozier. We're just kind of passing it right now. There she is. Nestled into the hills here. Probably something to do with the railroad. Just looking at the, we came out of the valley there, there's this ridge line, then we got another valley here, heading down so you can see the banding on the mountains. I think there's the road. It's going to come out of this pass here, out into the next valley, and then around this ridge. And we're going to go up and around. And I think Kingman's on the other side here. That's Valentine below us, in the town. So once again, airport elevation is 3,500 feet. So we'll go down to 4,500 when we hit Kingman. If anyone wants to join in on the fights, for those that are watching, especially over on Twitch, all my community fights are, or my streams are community fights. On Wednesdays, we're doing general aviation, and they're multiplayer fights, so as you can see, so you can come and join in. Some of the others are multiplayer or VATSIM, depending on what it is we're actually doing. And we fly everything from small general aviation up to the big airliners. Everything from modern day to old vintage airplanes. It's all there. If you want to come and join in, you can check out our Discord. I'll put it up into the chat. You'll also find it in the video description on YouTube, and when I get after the stream and I edit the Twitch one, you'll find the link in the video description there as well. But there's the link in the chat. And I'll just throw it into the Twitch chat as well. There we go. Showing it as War Thunder. Really? Huh, interesting. Certainly not War Thunder. Make the right turn here. We'll follow the road up over the ridge, and she's gonna loop back around, and then we're gonna head down towards the town. You can't cheat and not follow the route. That's what we're here for. In fact, we've got two of the R's in VFR down below us right now. Roads and railways. Which are great visual references for navigation. Now you're just confusing IFR. Yeah, I follow roads, I know. But for VFR, roads and railways are two of the main navigation tools that I used to use. You can use rivers. I know they all start with R, but it's just a coincidence. Especially in deserts like this where they stand out extremely well. Little airfield, little dirt field out there. Not sure what it is, but it's just up over here. We're gonna come in. We're gonna start our way down. I'm gonna give us a 300 foot down, and we're gonna set 4,500 feet. We'll just slowly start working our way down as we get ready to come into Kingman, Arizona. I'm not sure if we're going to see the point where Nevada, Arizona, and California all come together. It's west of here. I'm not sure where our route's going to take us next time. Yes, but I mean, if you're aware of they're there and all that, you're pretty safe. Doing rivers and deserts, yes, it would be a kind of hit and miss thing. But if you're in an area that you know the river's there, like if you were to follow the Liffey or something, or the Mississippi or the Missouri or some other big river like that, you'd know it's there and you could actually follow it easily. This is a little community of Antares, I think we're going by. Yeah, if you can make out the dry riverbed from above, I mean, that's always a good indicator. Rivers in the desert, flowing rivers in the desert would stand out. Looks like a golf course or something down there. Definitely an artificial green area. Actually shows up on the maps as well, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. Doesn't look like a golf course, but who knows. Anyway, Kingman is directly ahead. I'm going to be tracking down Route 66 here. Right down to the town. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't fly over a desert that I didn't know to a river I wasn't sure that was there and say that's going to be my reference point. You never know. There's a good chance it's not going to be there when you get there. About 8 miles out now. Again, we're going to fly past and get a view of the town from the air. crank that up to 500 feet per minute. I'll keep the power on, so we are going to accelerate a little bit, but that's fine. Looks like they're doing agriculture out here. It's interesting. See signs of artificial irrigation. There's looks like some plants growing here. Not sure what that could be. Solar array. Yeah, looks like that's a giant solar array. There's Kingman. There's the airport over there. Sort of fly down, we'll loop around and then come back in. There's the runway 17 heading off in that direction. That's 24, I think. So we'll fly over this way, then loop around, and then come in and land. There's Kevin coming in behind us. I got 1,100 feet to go on the descent. We're over the railroad tracks now. Coming up just at the bottom of the airport on this side, in this little built-up area here, we have the Kingman Route 66 swap meet. Popular place for all those wishing to exchange meat and meat products. Or other things, I would assume. Maybe I'm reading meat wrong. Industrial area by the airport. The airport seems to be at the little entrance to the next draw across to the next valley. But you know, it's a major place. They've got a Walmart. They've got all the typical things. This is the north end here is the new Kingman Butler area, and then you've got Kingman itself down a little bit further, the old Kingman. There's the airport there. So as our departure route next time is going to take us down and over this part of the city, what we're going to do is we'll go for another couple minutes, or another minute, and then we'll arc out over here and come up over this northern part and then fly across to a left mid downwind on runway 17. Apparently you can still get your kicks on Route 66. They're just not redeemable in flight. So next time we go out, we'll fly over the old town, but for right now, we're on the new part. So we'll make a turn to the right, we'll head west. Come on, 270. There we go. pull the engine back to 4,500 again. Here's the obligatory high school complex with the football field and baseball diamonds. Alright, we'll turn to the north. .360. Landing lights are on. So we are well visible. We've left them on. There's the airport. So we're going to come up, we'll fly overhead, we'll cross over 17. So since we're going on 17, we'll take a crossing heading of 080, which will put us on a 90-degree perpendicular. So 080. Obviously, if this was under ATC control, we would have been talking with the tower and been probably vectored in for the visual approach. So you can see where Kevin is. There he is behind us. He's extending a little bit further back. Alright, so airport elevation is 3449. So we're about 1,000 feet up. Just reset the barrow. Make sure we're at the proper elevations. Not too essential for a VFR, but that's fine. So we're going to crossing almost midfield, or a little bit to the north. So that's going to give us our we're on our crosswind leg at the moment. Runway 17 running that way. So we're going to turn to a heading of 350 once we turn to the north. Hey Oki, you joined us just in time for the landing. And we're probably going to look at getting off somewhere down around the intersection here. We'll see how it goes. A little bumpy. Winds are only 2 or 3 knots, so yeah, it's nice and variable. Not a major wind. Flight's going great. Had some great scenery out here in western Arizona. We're just about to come in and do the landing, so we've just crossed overhead the field. Extend out slightly. Alright. So we'll make our turn down to 350. And we can start getting ready to configure for landing. And we're coming on runway 17. There's Kevin coming in behind us. Alright. So 350, we're now flying directly downwind of the runway there. We are past the end of the threshold, so we're going to power back. I'm also going to take off the autopilot. I'm going to come back to 1500 RPMs. Going to hold altitude while we slow. There we go. We're below 85 knots. First notch of flaps can go in. We're now going to turn to a heading of 260. And we're going to trim the aircraft out for 65 knots. Second notch of flaps. 65 knots, 260. Keep trimming. 65 is best glide speed, and the speed we want to hold for landing. There's the runway there that we're coming in on. So we'll begin our turn. Holding about 1500 RPM on the engine as we come down. We're leaving mixture set where it is due to elevation. We want the power in case we got to go around. Rise up in our seat a little bit so we can see. A little bit of power, we're a little low. So we're going to be dragging it in. We were extended out a little bit further than we normally would have. That's fine, we can correct. To do it perfectly, you don't really have to touch the throttle on the way down. There we go, fly her right down. Winds are pretty much minimal. Flare. And we're down. Get on the brakes. And we'll exit here. And welcome to Kingman. I'm gonna park up in front of that big hangar there. So we get the flaps up, strobes, landing lights are off, taxi lights are on. There's Kevin out there doing his thing. Keep the power up on the engine just because it's air's a little bit thinner here. We don't want it to sputter out on us. Yeah, gliders will be cool. Oh, looks like they're waiting for us. Kevin's on final. Random blue lights in the middle of the taxiway. Do wish they'd get those out of there. All right. There we go. Alright, Kevin's almost down. So, we are here. Bring the engine up to 1000 RPM. And pull the mixture. Throttle's all the way back. Master and mags are off. Lights are all off. Avionics are off. Battery and master is off. And here we are, Kingman, Arizona, our last of our Arizona airports. I believe next time we're crossing over into California. They're back. My traveling is done. So unless something comes up, which it shouldn't that I'm aware of, we're going to be flying on Friday. And Mondays will be the airliner type VATSIM flights, and then Wednesdays will stay as our general aviation ones. And once we get past about mid-September, we may see some Saturday flights popping in as well. Maybe Sundays. We'll have to see how that plays out. We've got a few more to do in Europe, Okie. 3 flights to finish the European capitals tour. And yeah, I got another one planned for after that. So a few more European flights. So there'll be nice evening flights in Europe for the next few airliner flights. The next one should be Friday. And we'll go from there. I think we may be starting our world tour in September. So that will be interesting as well. we'll have to see. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there as Kevin comes in for his parking. Hope you well enjoyed, and again, our flights are our community flights. If you want to join multiplayer or VATSIM, information is available on the Discords. Thanks everyone for watching. Good to be back after my most recent trip away, and we will see you again on the next one. Yeah, we're back on Mondays, Okie. 1930 Zulu, I think, is a good time. Seems to work for everybody. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Bye for now.